At. So settling is a behavioral expectation. You see how there's this blue box here? So this is more of a visual marker for me than it is for the dog. He doesn't know that it's there. Basically, so like if he starts to inch forward, so he's in the box here. If he takes one more step, he probably won't be in the box. Yep, so then I can correct him, put him back inside the box. So whenever the dog is distracted by something, he's overstimulated, there's guests coming over, I want him to settle first before I allow him to interact. And so what I'm waiting for is for him to lay down and relax, just kind of be a good boy. In this process, all I'm doing is anytime he does something he's not supposed to do, I'm just saying nope, making sure he's in the box. Once he's in the box, I relax my leash. And so you can see, if you look at his body language, his tail's kind of wagging, so this is like, he's excited, right? A little socially curious. He's whining because of the anxiety, because of the stress. He's heavy panting, licking his lips. So he's getting a little puppy submissiveness. He's also like, oh, this is weird. You guys don't usually respond like this. So the anxiety's building. Sniffing the air is avoidance. What? And so now this is where like it could get a little testy, right? Because there's a want, there's a need. He wants to come say hello to you, but he needs to listen to me. And so when I'm putting this boundary down, the stakes are way higher. Before, nothing was there. Nobody was there. I don't care, I'll listen to you. But now that's mom and dad. You're telling me I can't say hello to my mom and dad, right? And so this is where he might say like, who the fuck do you think you are? And then I tell him who I am and he goes, you're right. Or he could just be like, oh, all right, this is just the same exercise, different rules, right? But do you see how I'm not restraining him? Like I'm not holding him back. By all means, go, do it. But then find out what happens when you do.
You waiting for him to sit down, like on his own?
Lay down on his own, yeah. So see how there you talked, and then that got him to go for it. It's okay, I don't mind if you talk, but I'm pointing out observations. So there you got a little overstimulated. So like that's what I'm talking about, those little jerky movements, like you can interpret, because we know what he's done. And that's the hardest part about this, is you have to throw that out the window. Like it was very circumstantial, the bite and the results of the injury. You can't think that's what he's gonna do to you. Because if you do, then you're gonna start moving weird, acting different, right? Being sus, he's gonna pick up on it. And this is just a waiting game, okay? So he's thinking about it, better, good. So that's a step in the right direction, right? And major key point here, this is not obedience. I know I'm waiting for him to sit down, to lie down, but I'm not telling him to sit or to down, right? All I'm saying is, you can't go that way, you can't do this, you can't do that, until he comes to the conclusion on his own of, oh, I gotta lay down and be a good boy, right? A little sniffing behavior. Good man, good boy. Great. Place. At. Good. Do we have hot dogs?
Hot dogs.
You grill some hot dogs for us?
Right, where's my...
Lee. Thank you, sir. At. Now, if he does come to you guys, just think, place. Good. Just ignore it. I'll step on the leash. I won't let him get to you. If he does, just chill. Wait till I get there. Grab the leash. He's probably just gonna jump on you, try to say hi. Nothing crazy. Yes. Good boy. Place. So, any questions about the settle? The behavioral expectation of that? That's place. Place. Good. So you see how with the correction, I got him to calm down a little bit. He offered the down. Okay? So when I say dogs find clarity in the consequence, this is what I mean. Okay? If I beat around the bush, I'm indirect, I'm nagging him. Hey, come on, stop that. Place. There it is. Place. With a dog like this, if you beat around the bush, you nag him, you're just gonna piss him off. He's just not gonna take you seriously. And there's a fine line between being like abusive, like a dictatorship, and being an authority and a leader in your dog's life, right? Place. Place. So again, right now, this is competing motivators, right? So like, I'm putting the boundary on him, I'm putting the pressure on him. If I back off before he changes, who won? Place. There you go. Good man. Now he may not like it, but he's got to do it, right? And then so this is respect. And I don't sacrifice respect to gain trust, right? I prioritize respect with dogs like this, because if the dog doesn't respect you, if this dog that's 60 pounds and willing to put teeth on you doesn't respect you, what do you think is going to happen, right? And through the respect, if I'm fair, I'm consistent, right? I don't push him past the limit that's reasonable, I'll gain his trust, and I'll have trust and respect. And that dog would never do anything to me. Does that make sense? Questions, comments, concerns about anything you're seeing here?
You asked if we had questions about like the settling component. Obviously, like say at home, for example, like you mentioned, wanting to settle if they are yes, etc.
Place. Place. Say that again.
You said, wanting to settle before like guests and whatnot. And so I'm wondering, here, right, you have a leash on them. In a home setting, there isn't that attachment potentially. So what is the corrective measure other than voice?
Well, until there is that trust, that respect, that clarity, where I can command him from a distance without using the leash needs to be present. Because like right now, if I didn't have the leash on him, my only other option is to pick him up and put him there. And that increases the bite risk significantly, right? So you saw how, he broke and he went to you, but what did I do? I stepped on the leash, bam, bam, bam. I was able to correct him and stop him from getting to you. Does that make sense?
Immediately looked to you also whenever you stepped on the leash.
Yeah, buddy, good job. Good man. Good boy. So what I'm letting him know is they are not yours. I am in charge. Right? Because he thinks you're his shiny toys, his possessions. Schmiegel, my precious.
Do you ever see any issues where there are like two owners, that he's equally maybe trying to guard, respond to, etc.?
Typically I see where it's one. They're possessive of one. It's rare that you see him be possessive of two. That's why it leads me to believe it's a dominance issue where he's just like anything and everything is mine unless you prove to me otherwise. Does that make sense? Because that's how he keeps transferring. He transferred the resource guardian to the animal control officer, right? He didn't do it with us because we've never been his. He's ours. So he's like, yeah, I don't have, they got it. They got themselves. I don't have to protect them, right? And this is that fine line where people go, oh, my dog's protective of me. No, he's possessive of you. There's a major difference. Because you're not in any real danger when he's being protective. He's just like, hey, I don't like you, or I don't want you near this, go away. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. It's making me reflect a lot on like walking him back in the, back before, and seeing him sometimes where like another person was approaching, and he would never like be aggressive or anything, but I would always see him kind of like stop and specifically position himself between me and whoever that person was. And if they would approach me, he would react further. If they would just keep walking or not pay us any mind, he would just kind of fall right back into step and go on about his way. So it makes a lot of sense, honestly. And I always, to your point, I always saw that as like he's being protective of me, but yeah, he saw me as like, this girl's mine, don't you dare walk up to her.
So the problem is when you do that from the puppy, right? Like puppies imprint on shit. And so it follows them into adulthood. And then think about an older person in your life. How hard is it to make them change their minds about something when they've been doing it this long? Right? And so that the lucky thing about dogs is it's just all habituation. All you got to do is just muscle memory, right? The more they do this, the more they conclude that this is the result, this is the cause and effect, the easier it is for them to anticipate and know what to expect. And as long as you're consistent, they will be consistent. But if, I'm under the belief there's two types of aggression. There's aggression as a tool, and there's aggression as a mindset. He uses aggression as a tool. And it's so effective that it started becoming aggression as a mindset. Does that make sense?
The day of the bite too, when he was first signaling to her, barking, growling, there was a further distance between me and the two of them as I was trying to like close the door, get the door locked. When I started walking towards them, and right when I got right next to them is then when he bit. And it makes me wonder, like, to him, maybe the threat of like the possessiveness was increasing as I got closer, and it became.
Or he just had more power because you were right there. Like think about it, like if you run into somebody in the wild and they want to start a conflict with you and you're by yourself, probably be a little bit more timid, shy. But if you got your boy right there, oh yeah, what's up, right? 2 versus 1 makes me stronger. 1-on-1 makes me weaker. Free. Put them up. So just so you guys know, the dominant dog collar's on this leash, so that's why I'm not using it. Yeah. That's my e-brake in case I need it, but I'm working them on the choke chain.
What'll be the recommendation once he does come home, like leash type?
Leather or biothane. So this is a leather, this is a biothane. I like either. And he's doing really good on the choke chain right now. It's the martingale, he was just eating the corrections, he didn't really care. So the choke chain is definitely a step up, and he's doing well with that. Maybe I can get him down to a fur saver. You know what that is?
No.
It looks like little paperclip links. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's for dogs like him that have long hair. I don't want to put a prong on him because the hair will get stuck in it. So choke chain or fur saver is going to be what's best for him.
And the martingale one is the one that has like the part that goes across the snout too?
That's a gentle leader or a head halty. The martingale is the red flat collar that you were trying to put on him at pickup. That's just a regular flat collar. So that'll have his name tag, his dangerous dog tag on it, all that stuff. The other one is his training collar. That's what we use to give corrections and things like that. So if we take a look, already better. I haven't had to correct him, right? Like, yeah, he's still visibly stressed, he's panting, he's licking his lips, the tail's kind of down, and he's nervous and insecure, unsure. This is that whale eye I'm talking about, right? When he starts looking at you like this, you get a little sketched out, like, what the fuck? But it's just a husky thing. You know, like I see a lot of my husky in him and his mannerisms and just kind of the way he looks. My husky, if she's laying on the ground and I go to love on her or pet at her, she'll growl and she'll head bob at me. Her teeth won't snap. She won't try to bite me, but she'll go, arr. It's just a husky thing, right? And so, right, good.
He's always done the side eye thing, like especially when he is clearly trying to tell you he wants something from you and you won't give it to him, like begging at a table or something like that. Like, always been very common with him.
So I'm looking at his teeth right now, and there's like a black line on the inside of his canines on both. So that's like silver. That tells me that he was chewing away at the crate while he was in there, or chewing away at some kind of metal. It's like metal.
You're saying just like he was doing that just now?
He hasn't been. He's only been in the metal crate here once, and it was for one night. I think over there. Yeah.
I know the very first time we had him groomed when he was maybe like a year old. I don't know, around a year old. We took him to get like professionally groomed before we just ended up giving him baths. And they had him in a metal kennel then, and he was doing that there, even though he was only there, you know, for a couple hours tops. The entire time he was in it and not in like having the bath done, they said that he was chewing on it then too, trying to get out.
You see how his ears were pinned back a little bit? So when they're slicked back like that, that's more of a submissive, appeasement, stress kind of behavior. Good boy.
I know you said like sniffing the air is avoidant. Like right now when he just laid down against you, I saw him kind of like turn towards like his private area. He used to do that a lot, like sniff or lick. Is that also avoidant?
Yeah. So it's his way of getting distracted. It's like chewing your fingernails, twirling your hair, playing with your beard, sniffing yourself. It's just avoidance behavior, right? So that's like, when I say avoidance, it means he's trying to figure out how to get out of this situation. He's trying to figure out, how can I do what I want to do what he says, right? So it's like, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious. Next thing you know, boom, he's over there, right? Free. Place. Good. Place. So already, how much better has he behaved?
Yeah, I'd say there's an improvement for sure.
Just one rep to the next, right? And so the main variables here are, obviously we're in a controlled environment where he spent the last 4 weeks drilling it into him. This is what we do, this is how we act, right? The second thing is, you guys are acting differently. The best way to modify somebody else's behavior is to modify your behavior. So just by you simply not reacting the same way you do, it's okay, doing all the stuff that sets him up that he expected, now he's looking at you in a different view. He's like, what the hell, this is different, right? Good man. Not bad, bro.
Do you think once he returns home and is in a new but also familiar environment, that'll like what's the word I'm looking for? That it'll take a lot of reinforcement to kind of get back to this point, or like adjust in a way?
Old habits die hard. Environments play a huge role in behavior. We're different people at home than we are at school, than we are at work. So when he comes home, he's gonna think, shit, sweet, I can go back to the way things were. This is where the routine, the rules, and the boundaries will change that, right? You're not allowed on furniture. You can't free roam. You have to be crated when you're unsupervised. You have to do this when people come over. Now there's rules, now there's structure. You can't just do whatever the fuck you want. And this isn't your house. You just live here, right? This is the rent you have to pay. And so that's why there's a gradual process of transitioning him back home. It's not just, all right, you're home, let's just go back to the way things were. It's no, the same thing you're doing at Daniel's, you're doing here. So crate when unsupervised, on leash when out of the crate, only comes out to settle, only comes out to do place or go to the bathroom, right? Structure. Once we reset the environment, simultaneously we're resetting your individual relationships because you guys are now the ones providing the rules and enforcing the rules, right? He starts to look at you differently. He starts to look at you as a leader, as an authority figure. Now he's like, okay, they're not mine anymore. I'm theirs. And then the dominance goes away. Now, until we get him neutered and we really stick this into existence for him, I wouldn't trust that the dominance is going away. There's always going to be an element of like, he has a dominant personality. So if and when he displays dominance, it needs to be corrected, it needs to be addressed. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you still think doing the neutering at the end of the 10 weeks is like still ideal?
I'm consulting with other professionals, other colleagues of mine, as to when that would be ideal.
Okay.
I know I originally wanted to at least do the 30-day reset, get that hormonal imbalance out of the way. So as you can see, the testosterone levels are much higher. The response, the emotional response is much lower. I don't know if getting him neutered while he's here and working him through that will double down on everything we're doing, and that'll be the best thing to give you just kind of a clear dog. Or if I put him through the whole program, going through all the stress, and then on the back end we neuter him to make the transition back home easier.
I see.
Does that make sense? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So we have enough time. I will let you know within the next couple of weeks which option we're gonna go with.
Sure. Okay.
Do you guys have a preference, or are you like any comments or concerns about that?
No, I mean, no preference, at least from my end. I think it's more so, you know, I am not a professional, so I'm definitely trusting the professional opinion here. I was more so just like curious if anything there had changed now that you've gotten to interact with them more.
Yeah, I mean, and so this is where like typically I'll say neutering does little to nothing to help address behaviors because behaviors are just habituation. But in this instance, the dominance is fueled by testosterone. So neutering him will definitely help with the dominance displays. It's just at what point do we want to do that, right? And so just give me a couple weeks and I'll let you know definitively if or when we should do it, or when we should do it, because he definitely does need to get neutered.
Okay.
Is you still trying to pee on everything to like mark it, or?
I mean, he'll mark here and there, or at least he'll try to. In the beginning, when you first bring him out, it's a little hard to tell because you're like, oh, are you peeing or are you marking, right? But after he pees, like, I'll see it, like he'll sniff, start to go and do this. I'm like, nope, and then he'll stop.
Yeah, I interrupted.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you think about it, like, dominant dog, it's basically the same thing as, like, you know, some little street rap kid going through the hood and marking graffiti.
Yep,
Yeah.
tagging
It's the
shit up.
same thing. And entitlement comes, and that's where shitty behavior comes.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Unchecked behavior just worsens over time.
Yep, yep. So now, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate this?
That's pretty damn good. I'd say,
Yeah, it's up there.
yeah, 8.5.
Okay, getting closer.
Yeah, I was gonna say like an 8.5, almost even a 9.
Yeah.
And if you were to ask me what would make it a 10, I don't even know how to answer that question, honestly.
No, but that's fine, right? There's always room for improvement. I'm not looking for 10s, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, look at, so first you said what, 6.5, 7? You said what?
Yeah, I said the same thing. Yeah.
7, yeah. So now we went up a whole point and a half. Good boy, Leo.
He's getting into a relaxed position a lot faster and staying in it. Whereas I think earlier when he was in here, he was kind of relaxing, then coming out of it, then relaxing again, coming out of it.
Free.
Got a little bit more consistency now.
Down. Leo, down. Down. So what we're doing here is I gave him the down command, right? Once he downs, I give him the stay. It's a physical stay cue. I don't say stay. So now he's in a down stay, and he has to wait for me to come back before I release him. Down. Down. There you go.
And what makes stay versus place
Free.
different?
Say that again.
What makes the stay versus the place command different?
So the stake or the place command is on specifically. It's on that bed.
Oh, okay.
Right. With this was the down command. So watch. So, Leo, sit. Yes. Sit. Sit. So he's offering the down. This is not disobedience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now this is a sit stay. Now the difference between, other than the physical, position that he's in, is anything that's like 30 seconds or less, free. I'll put him in a sit stay. Anything longer than that, I'll put him in a down stay. Place. Yes. Place. But to clarify, because I don't think I was clear, I don't teach a stay, because if I go, Leo, sit, and then I say, Leo, stay, and he lays down, but he doesn't move, he's staying, but he's not sitting. Mm-hmm. And vice versa, if he gets up and sits over there, he's sitting, but he didn't stay. Mm-hmm. So it's sit until I release you, down until I release you, place until I release you, right? Now the difference between the down stay and the place stay is that on place, he can do whatever he wants except come off the bed. Mm-hmm. I won't release him until he settles down the same way I asked him to settle here. So place is the unique command where you have obedience expectations, but you also have behavioral expectations. The obedience portion of it is get on there and stay there. The behavioral portion is calm down and settle. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And does that clear up down stay versus place stay?
Yeah.
Cool. So now I'm gonna wait for him to settle down, because you see he's a little hyped up. Mm-hmm. And you guys understand what I mean when I say like offering behaviors, right? So like I was telling him to sit, he was offering me the down. He's just giving you this instead of that. And so cool. Yeah, he goes boom, right? And so like cool, love the enthusiasm, not what I asked for, right? And that's just because I literally had just previously asked him for the down, he gave it to me, got rewarded, so he's like, okay, I know the game. No, that's where we have to snap him out of that overstimulation, get him to focus. And you see, I didn't have to be super corrective to do that. I just had to, twice, feed him for doing the right thing. And then he held the sit stay while I went and came back, right? So here, I'm waiting him out. I'm waiting for the behavior change. He's got to give me the settle. If he wants to get released, if he wants to get rewarded, he's got to give me the settle. And settle is not a command. It's not like I go, Leo, settle, and he just does it. I mean, I could, but the whole point of this is for the dog to understand when I'm not being told what to do, just lay down, be a good boy. Because it's not realistic to expect a dog to always be in obedience. Good man.
I would assume then once he returns home, we should establish a similar place, like
Correct.
Spot, setting, a bed, something.
Correct. Free. Free. Good boy. So like even there, I'm putting pressure on him. I'm touching his neck, right?
Kind of likes that.
Put him up.
So he likes that.
Good job, Leo.